Hi guys, and welcome back to Bad Habits. I have finally got all of the pieces together. I will summon the Exodia. Everything is fantastic. I got the movie maker, I got my avatar, we got the green screen room, we have everything we need set up to make these videos fantastic. And I absolutely love it. I've been working at this for so long. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyways, I'm back once again, and this time we are doing a video on Banners of Ruin. Let's go and have some fun. Alright guys, welcome to Banners of Ruin. This is a fantastic game that I have personally enjoyed for quite a while. I've stuck like 22, maybe 24 hours into this game, and it is utterly and completely fun. You get to pick your character and go on this adventure that you start out in some sort of sewer or something. It never really explains, but you come out into the city and your goal is to fight through everybody in your way in order to get to the warden. And the warden is not your friend. So recently, Iris came out, and Iris is a new character who just dropped on September 1st, and she is absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome. Basically, she controls spirits and uses them to block her way in front of her, or attack with, or they come with a whole bunch of different things, much like all the other heroes do. So, basically, I'm making a video for Banners of Ruin going on right now because it's Iris's birthday. I do love to report on the little things in life. Like new characters and video games that I love. Alright, so, let me give you a little bit about this game. Basically, when you start, it normally gives you some sort of character, maybe sometimes two. With Iris, you only get one to start with. If you're starting on the normal mode, you get to pick two characters to start with, and you find people along the way to join in your cause to take down the warden. Why we're trying to take down the warden, nobody knows. I'm pretty sure it's just because he stepped on my toes as I was trying to make my way through the city to buy myself a donut. But, who knows? So, along your way in this adventure, you have so many different things and so many different stories to be told. Every step in this adventure gives you a detailed explanation of what's happening through the form of cards. 3 cards will pop up on the screen, 1, 2, 3. And when these 3 cards pop up, you get to take your choice amongst where you're going between these 3 cards. And depending on how you play it, depends on if you're winning or if you're losing, if you get good items, what story you're going to take, or if somebody will help you out later down the road. Sometimes you even run into bosses that have just been hidden or pop up out of nowhere who just smack you down like the silly person you are. So basically, in this game, you have 2 rows, and in those 2 rows, there's 3 spaces that any one of your characters can be placed in order to make a good combat position. You use these combat positions to better protect your back row, who's probably going to be dealing your damage, and also to put people in your front row to stop the back row from getting damage, because if you don't, they'll get smacked down like a redheaded stepchild. The game is relatively straightforward. You're basically got your team versus their team. You run into a lot of their teams, and as you're killing them, you level up. And when you level up, you get different skills and new cards that you can use, along with collecting cards and equipment as you go through the storyline, which is absolutely fantastic. My personal favorite is the super heavy armor, because the super heavy armor gives you so much armor and then makes you be able to do nothing because you're so tired. If you put your super heavy armor on somebody who's not super stamina worthy, they're basically just a wall. That's it. They can't use anything. They're so tired they can't move. So as you make your way through this city, you're going to run into a lot of different obstacles. Everything from normal people to elite fighting to I got attacked by a monk once. A spirit handler came up and basically shit stomped me. Got close to it. He didn't do anything. I smacked him out of the way, I'm like, hey, get out there. And then he left spirits behind who just kind of kicked me in the teeth. As you're making your way through the city, you run into all sorts of things. different enemies. You run into blacksmiths, healing springs. People will help you. People who don't want to help you. People who need help, and if you help them, you get something. Or sometimes when you help them, you get nothing. Or even worse, sometimes you help them and they give you something worse than what you walked in with. So really, the thing that's really fun about this game is that it's a challenge. I was looking for a card game for a really long time. Something very very play, something that wasn't like anything else. And when I ran across Banners of Ruin, I was just like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. It was on sale on Steam, like every game I buy, because I love sales. So it was on sale on Steam. I picked it up. I saw that it was a card game, and at the time I was actually looking for a card game. And when I picked it up, I really didn't expect anything of it. I actually passed it up like 4 times during that sale, but I'm just like, you know what, I'll grab it. So I grabbed it, and I started playing it, and I love this game. It's absolutely fantastic. It gives me this great challenge, and not a single story ever goes the same. Everything from different starting weapons to different starting people. You can even get different storylines as you're going through. Sometimes you don't even have the same bosses when you go through, but it's all to fight the Warden. Now, I was told there's people after the Warden, and I'm not sure if that's 100% true, because the Warden has thrown me off to the side and thrown me back in jail more times than I'd like to count, because he's a meanie and he's not very nice. I don't like the Warden. He deals damage depending on how much shield he has, and well, that man can drop like 60 shield a turn, and you just don't have that much life. So if you don't kill him quick, or if you're not like over leveled or have an army standing behind you, he's just gonna throw you out of the way. The true excitement in this game comes when you actually experience it. When you're going through the different stories and you see different things that you haven't seen before. Like I said, I've been about 22, 24 hours into this game, and I'm still finding new things. It's a simple card game. Like you have 3 choices and you're trying to make your way through a city. It's not that complicated, yet there are so many choices and so many different diverse things that you can go and do in the game. Everything from blacksmiths to people who will just sell you cards, jugglers, brawlers. There's a guy who will make you bet on a fight, and if you bet on the fight, you have to fight the fight, and if you lose, you're dead. The whole game is all about the adventure through Banners of Ruin, and it's absolutely fantastic. I would suggest you give it a try, because it's, like I said, it's great. You know, freaking play it! Even getting past all the different cards and all the different paths you can take throughout the game, there is deeper stuff that you can get into. There's all kinds of different equipment, and there's so many different things that you can give other people. So bleed, poison, toxic. There's so many different things. You can hit through people's shields or cause yourself to deal more damage. Everything adds up just to help you beat the next fight. And I'm telling you, all of the fights before the Warden are relatively easy. You're going through and you're just like, well, get out of my way. Alright, I'm just gonna kick you in the teeth. And then you just continue forward, and then you step up to that final boss, or what I assume is the final boss, and he just doesn't deal with people well. Not at all. I don't even know what I did wrong, honestly. Iris, I know what she did wrong. She's got a really dark backstory. You're like, oh, well, what's going on with Iris? And she's just like, it's never been the same since I murdered all the people in that village. Yes, that's Iris's backstory. And why did she murder all the people in the village? Who knows? It never explains it. Something with Black Church and some random person who got up to some ruffian stuff. But because you killed so many people, you got this big doom and gloom going on over your head, and dealing with that is a big part of what Iris is dealing with. She takes every step, and for every step, there's a chance that you can get another spirit. And these spirits are great, but they come at a bigger cost than almost their worth. But I love them. I love them so much. So I know I've been talking about Iris a lot this video, but there is other things you can do inside this game. If you own all the DLC, like I do, because I'm a sucker for this game, there is Moonstone, who is a bard, who gives all of the other people on her team buffs. Or the Powder Master, whose whole thing is bringing powder to the game and blowing it up for massive damage on the other end of the team. Iris, who I've been talking about pretty well constantly this whole time, she controls spirits, and those spirits defend for her and help attack, and also can give her buffs depending if you possess yourself or enough. Enough or not. Yes, you can possess yourself, but that's just the DLC. Like the base game, you actually get to pick two characters from amongst multiple different characters, and you can add them up however you want. You want a weasel and a wolf? You got it. You want a bear and a mouse? You got it. Have whatever story you want to choose, but you're going to be climbing out of a cellar and going through a city to fight the warden every single time. It's great. The story's always different. It's always a mashup, and you never run into the same thing twice. Well, you do run into the same thing twice, just not in the same order. And sometimes you won't even run into things at all. The base game is a little different from the DLC, though. When it comes to the DLC, your main character, if they die, the game's over. So if all of your minions die, that's fine. You'll keep on going. But if your main character dies, the game's over. You lost. It doesn't matter if you have a team left. It doesn't matter if you had spirits on the field. It doesn't. Versus the base game, to where you start with two characters, they generally have a starting equipment, but you can switch that starting equipment as you go and as you level up your characters. These two, however, can die. If one dies, then the other one can keep going. The only thing that actually stops that game is if you lose all of your characters. And normally you can hire more people along the way, assuming that you're lucky enough to run into that. Of course, at the end of every larger round, I'm not sure how quite to explain this, you start at one point, and after so many cards, you land at the end of the round where you fight a boss. Right before that, you buy more cards or recruit someone. So if you just have a lot of cash on you for fighting a lot of stuff, and you decide to buy yourself 4 team members, go for it. Marry. And honestly, it makes the game easier. Sometimes they can get in your way, and I've learned that sometimes you can depend too much on one character, and once he's gone, your whole team just falls apart. So as you're playing, your characters level up all individually. All the DLC characters, along with all the normal characters, will gain levels and unlock new things for their specific race, from the mouse to the wolf to the beaver to the rabbit. Everybody will gain different skills and different cards that they can use throughout playing. Along with the DLC characters are exactly the same. But along with that, you have your level, as a player level. So when you level up, you actually unlock other characters. It starts out with you being able to use like a mouse and I think possibly a weasel. And I've dropped a lot of hours in this game. I can't remember the beginning ones. You start out with like a mouse or maybe a weasel. And when you start out with those two, that is all you can use in the base game. And as you continue and as you level up yourself, you start to unlock different characters you can use in that base game, which also levels up your individual characters, giving them different abilities and different cards that they can play. Now here comes the real questions. What's after the warden? Do you win? Do you continue? Is there other bosses? Truth be told, I don't know. Haven't made there yet. The game's actually difficult enough that it's kept me from getting past the warden. I've gotten close, but no dice. Alright guys, and that is my take on this game. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I definitely enjoyed myself. Go grab yourself Banners of Ruin and have yourself a great time. Thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time, right here on Bad Habits. Love you, viewers.